Good morning everyone. I want to respectfully greet all of you who follow me. Well, one morning, I went down to the patio for breakfast. It was a terrace located on the ground floor of my apartment building, and that's where I was having my coffee. As I was sitting nicely at the table, my coffee came too. But at that moment, I noticed an old man rising from another table. The old man seemed to have a foot problem. He was lame and leaning on a cane. Walking to the car, he was limping slightly and dragging his right leg behind him. I was amazed at the way he moved. It was fascinating to see him get up from the table and walk with difficulty towards the car, leaning on his cane. If I had nothing else to do, I think I would have studied him more. By the time the old man reached the car, I noticed a sign in the window indicating that the car was for sale, an Audi A6. I didn't think twice and quickly pulled my phone out of my pocket to take a picture of the ad. Surprisingly, the old man answered the phone. I told him I saw he had an Audi A6 for sale and asked him where it was from. He asked me where I was from, presumably to establish if we were in the same area or if it would be complicated to make an appointment to discuss the car. As I mentioned, I saw the car on the street and got the phone number. I called them and they told me to come see the car anytime. He asked me if I was from Roqueta and I confirmed that I was. He told me to go to Toros Net and we met there in the parking lot next to the car. Santa got out of the car and leaned on his cane. His demeanor was simple and straightforward. He told me he didn't want to talk too much and showed me the car papers. He told me to look them over and take the car for a test drive, to take it where I wanted it. He gave me the papers and told me the car was in perfect condition, both externally and internally. He told me to take it and drive it where I want. I took the papers and examined the car in detail. Then I called Anna, a Russian friend of mine, to come with me to advise us on the purchase. We parked the car next to him and discussed the year of the car and other details. After reviewing the paperwork and examining the car, we decided to do some more checking and thinking before making a final decision. I took the old man's advice and decided to test drive the car. I got into it and left the Russian and the old man in the parking lot to wait for me. I took the car for a spin and noticed that the engine was running fine and the gearbox was working properly. Everything seemed fine. When I got back to the car in the parking lot, we discussed the price. The old man asked 6,500 euros for the car, but was willing to let it go for 6,000 euros. I tried to negotiate a lower price, but he was firm and said he wouldn't discuss under 6,000 euros. We agreed on the price of 6,000 euros. He pointed out that the car was in perfect condition, but warned me that he would not transfer it until he received the full amount. It is important to know that the car will not be transferred until I pay the agreed amount in full. Well, indeed, I was not able to conclude a sales contract with the old man. He didn't seem to be interested in this and had no intention of making such a contract. I was glad to have an official document, but it was not possible. As you noted, the old man deduced that I was in the business of buying and selling cars from the way I approached the meeting with him. So he started asking questions about my business. He asked me about the Russian girl, if she was my girlfriend. I don't mind at all you asking about my girlfriend. She's not my girlfriend, she's my girlfriend. I came with her because if I buy that car, she has a license and could drive one of the cars here and I could drive the other. I understand. But what does your girlfriend do? Santa asked the question. My girlfriend says she's in real estate. That's been her line of work for years. I noticed the old man had a lot of questions. You'd think he had them written down on a piece of paper. He seemed very interested in talking. Maybe she has a background in communication, or maybe she is part of an organization that does these types of checks like the police. Anyway, I'll ask the old man. Are you still selling the car? Yes, I'm selling it. Let's go to the registration office to transfer it to your name and I'll hand it over to you. Okay, let's go to the institution. We're heading to the registration office. The car looked immaculate and the price was very good. We walk into the institution and the salesman pulls the paperwork off the table. I'm going to take a look at the paperwork because there have been cases when they presented you with the plane and you got the bike. The old man says, I'll leave your papers here and go out for a cigarette. Call me when I'm ready to sign. Here are the papers. I looked through them and gave them to the girl at the counter. Everything was going well. I went to get the old man to sign. Says the old man, I'm sure you'll be very pleased with the car. I could tell you were in the car business by the way you evaluated and tested it. Yes, I have experience in the field. I make no secret of the fact that I intend to buy it for resale down the road. That's why I also wanted a sales contract, to avoid paying for the transfer now. Finish the job with the old man and tell the Russian. If you wish, please leave a phone number. I have an apartment for sale in Malaga. I am not from this area at all, I come here on holidays with my wife. The price is very good and I'm sure you'll make a profit. Leave me your number and when you want you can come and see the apartment. Maybe tomorrow? Yes, how could the old man not say? I got your number and we set up the meeting. The next morning the Russian wakes me up. Let's go in together. Let's see what apartment this old man has for sale. The Russian called the old man to meet us. We first met there on the terrace. We had coffee and talked. Santa started telling us about his apartment and its history. He also told us that he has other apartments and houses, but at the moment he is not determined to sell them. We left and arrived at the apartment. The location is very good for the apartment. We arrived in front of the block where the apartment is located. The old man says, wait a minute, my daughter has to come. Let's wait for her here in front of the block. A minute later her daughter appears. We greeted each other and I noticed that when she looked at me, she stared at me and seemed to recognize me or to think how she knew me. She seemed to have a smug expression and was looking at me. You saw the way that man looked at you and looked like he didn't know where to take you. It feels like he knows you from somewhere. I noticed, but I didn't say anything. He opened the door and we entered the block. We went up to the apartment, which was on the first floor and overlooked the main road. The apartment was large, with 2 bedrooms and a nice modern living room. The tiling had been changed and tastefully done. It was a bright apartment with large windows and a spacious balcony. We asked the owner to open the apartment door for us. We went inside and noticed that the apartment was beautifully decorated. It was bright and spacious. We asked the owner what the price of the apartment was. He told us that 40,000 euros is the final price, without further negotiation or discussion. He pointed out to us that we are not like in the car transaction, where to leave room for negotiation. So to know that the last selling price is 40,000 euros. When we heard this price, we realized that it is a very good price for Malaga. It seems to be not in the suburbs but in a better area, a good location. I didn't know the prices in the area, to tell you the truth. I don't deal with that. Russian, then I thought to myself that is a very good price. But now, we didn't get to see the whole apartment. The moment I arrive in the living room, listen to what the old man's daughter says when I arrive in the living room. She says, Dad, I think I know this boy. She says, you're from here in Malaga. I say I'm not from Malaga, I've been living in Roqueta for some time. I don't know you from Malaga. I come to Malaga from time to time. AAA says, ready. You don't sit in front of the second-hand shop? You know me from there, so you know I saw you at the entrance to the staircase of the block that you looked at me like that. I've been thinking about it and I realized you picked me up, but I don't know where. Says Dad, I know this boy. This boy's standing in front of the thrift store. I know him very well. He says I almost pass by there every day. And he's there in front of the second-hand shop. He says, he's a friend of the Moroccans there. Says with Mohammed. I answer him, yes, I am a friend of Mohammed and I know most of the guys there. Well, if you're friends with Mohammed and you know all the guys there, then you've recognized me too. Everything seems to be going well so far. What the old man's daughter says. I want to talk to my father about the apartment. Of course, you can talk. Not a problem. If you want, I'll go out with the Russian and let you two talk. Santa, no, you don't have to go out of the apartment. We're just going to the bedroom. Well, brothers, what do you know, the fucking trouble now. I think that's going to make her father charge us a higher price because he found out who I am and that I'm standing out there in front of the thrift store. Maybe he'll want to get a higher price. Anyway, I say, and if he asks for more than 40,000, we don't get the apartment. We can't be swayed by situations like that. The old man comes out of the bedroom with the girl. Santa, Marion, this has never happened to me before. Please forgive me if this situation creates difficulties. I want us to remain friends and stay in touch. Please forgive me. I say, I want us to stay friends and maintain a good relationship, too. But what happened? I just talked to my daughter and during the apartment discussion, I told her I sold you the car. She started crying and, frankly, I felt bad. I want to pay you the transfer you made and I'll give you 200 to 300 extra. Please accept. Come with me back to the Hestui. Let's go back and get the car back, because my daughter is very upset that I sold it. You guys realize that at that moment, I had 1001 options running through my head. Why do you want to take the car back? I understand your daughter says she knows me. Yeah, I want it back. The moment my daughter found out I sold you the car, she got very upset. She said she knew you. But why would that be a reason to want the car back? I think the moment she realized she knew me, she thought maybe I'd give her a lower price for the car. Maybe she thinks she should get more money for it. I'll tell her, sir, if I put this car up for sale, we need to put a little more work into it. Change the filters and the oil and change what else needs to be changed. And if I put it up for sale I can get 1,000 and more than 1,000 I can earn on this car. Now what are you telling me? I say to give you the car back and give me 200 to 300 and take it back, so I mean you sold it to me and now take it back. I told you that's what I do and I buy for sale. Marion, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's do this in a way that's good for both you and me. I'm offering you 600 euros more. Please, give me back my car. I'm doing it for my daughter. I'm not crazy, I just want to do something good for my daughter. I've been thinking the opposite now. If this person knows me and the car has no problems, the car problems variant falls. I don't understand what they were thinking or hiding to do this. It remains a mystery to me because the car had no problems either fiscally or mechanically. I'm not interested in getting rich off the extra money he's offering. Just having a respectful attitude towards this old man and giving him his car back. It is not a problem for me to return it. Me, sir, it's not a problem for me to give it back to you. This has never happened to me before. We can remain friends, like you said, and I'll return the car to you. Santa, Marion, let's leave the apartment talk aside for now. Let's do the transfer for the car first, get my car back from you, and then we can come back here to see the apartment. We'll talk. The price stays the same, it doesn't change. You mustn't think I'm raising the price or that anything unexpected is happening. It's the same agreed price. Come on, let's get my car and get this over with. Tomorrow we'll get back to talking about the apartment. I understand you've come all this way to Malaga, but it's not a problem. I'll pay the fare, I understand you've made an effort. I'll give you money for fuel, I'll fill it up. Let's go now. We'll leave here and go home. He gave me extra money, Like I said. Everything's taken care of. Everything's fine. Then I asked the old man if the offer for the apartment still stands. Marion, how can the offer for the apartment not stand? It's out of the question. It still stands. Tomorrow we'll go see the apartment, and if you like it, why not take it? Sir, let's go tomorrow. Be careful. The next day the old man left for Malaga. The next day, I'll take the Russian and we'll go to Malaga again. I'll call the old man in the morning. The old man answered. I thought he wouldn't answer. Yes, he answered. Marion, do you know the location? Come to the location and see the apartment. I'm in front of the apartment, on the block. Me and the Russian girl get there. The old man opened the apartment door and invited us in. Come in, look at the apartment. It's big and beautiful. I tell you, what am I negotiating with him for? The last price was 40,000. I'm not lowering anything, 40,000. The Russian told me in the car that it's a very good price. Russian, I guarantee we can get 60,000 for this apartment. I'm not saying more, but we can ask more. Look, we'll put half and I'll handle the sale. I'm selling it now, but I don't know how long it will last. We can get 10,000 to 20,000 euros easily. Trust me. Of course, how can I not trust the Russian? She has experience in real estate, has many connections and clients. She has many connections in this field. I could invest 20,000 euros in this business. I don't have to personally handle the sale of the apartment. I don't have to stress. I expect it to sell in a month or two, but it may sell even faster. Whatever it is, we'll make 10,000 euros. The Russian has guaranteed that. Maybe more, but at least 10,000 euros. I'll tell the Russian, no problem. If you say the apartment is worth it, we'll put in half and get the job done. Hey, the old man comes and says, what do you say, will you take it? Russian, yes, we'll buy it. Santa, Marion, so we have a deal? Yes, we have a deal. High five with the Russian girl too. That's the final decision. I'll see you in history. Good, says the old man, we have to file the papers at the town hall or the notary's office. It's not as simple as with the car. We have to sign various documents and it can take some time before everything is in order and recorded in the deed or other official documents. Tomorrow we meet to file the papers and take care of all the necessary formalities. It's a more complex process than selling a car, but we'll get it right. That evening, I stay at the hotel with the Russian girl. The next day, I meet the old man. The Russian woman tells me that the apartment is very good, modern, with nice tiles. He's happy with the furniture and the kitchen. Surely we will get a nice profit. I'm not good at these things, especially in the apartment area. I tell the Russian girl that I just want to be there, to be with her. I don't have the experience in this area. The Russian has to be careful and handle it. Russian girl, okay, I'll take care of everything there. I'll be careful and take care of the formalities. Hey, what are you talking about, boy? Such a trick this one pulled, he's taking us for fools. How clever that old man was. I got there and got the papers. I looked in them and saw the information about the apartment, this street, that floor, that letter. I first looked above the door and saw a letter. That's how they put it in Spain. I also looked and noticed that the file had been put on the table. I was sitting there too. I dictated the information about the apartment to the computer. I mentioned square meters on this street. I knew the street, the floor, and the letter C stood out to me. Yes, the letter C, how, wait a minute, ma'am. Hey, me. Pay attention here, I who didn't look in the papers and had no business, I told you that I went there for filling. So, wait a minute, ma'am, how about the letter C? Yes, apartment C. What do you mean, C suite? It's B. It was obvious to me that above the door was the letter B. As I walked in the door, I looked up and saw B. Ma'am, apartment B, not apartment C. The old man says, Marion, you don't know. You know about cars, and he started laughing there. With a laugh like that, a laugh like that, a laugh like that, a laugh like that, a laugh like that. Ha ha ha, you don't know, you know cars, not apartments. Leave the paperwork to us, you mind your own business there. Me, ma, hello, wait a minute, I say. Wait a minute, who, stop. Don't tell me that I don't know, that my eyes have started to wander and I can't see. I don't know about apartments, prices, positions, shit, all that. I don't know. But I saw that above the door is the letter B. How do you tell me it's the letter C? Russian, if you saw the letter B, then it remains that you are right, don't fuss here. I got pissed there, I mean how? Are you calling me blind? Calling me blind even though I don't know what I'm doing? You're not calling me blind. What do you mean, I didn't see the top at the door? You're not trying to fool me. I'm saying, you got some nerve. I said, see, if I respected you and spoke nicely to you with sir, I respected you for being an age. And what are you doing now? You call me blind? No, Marion, no. Calm down, says the old man. He was afraid of a slap. Calm down, calm down. That's the letter C in the apartment. Go to the apartment and get the papers from there after lunch. I'll get the papers, go to the apartment, and tomorrow I'll say, meet me here to do the papers, and you'll see there's a letter C in the apartment. Man, I say, it's letter B, I don't have to go there because it's letter B. He says go, and tomorrow we'll come and do the paperwork, so there's no arguments. Now you may be thinking that he had someone move and put C instead of B, but he couldn't. He couldn't, because ABCD was coming and he couldn't move from there, it was coming the other way around. Do you understand? He couldn't do that trick. He tried it there on paper, he basically showed us the apartment and wants to sell us the hen house. He came over there, I couldn't stand it any longer, and he took the papers away. I said okay. And if it's like you say, we'll meet tomorrow. I let it go. I say, hey, let's take it easy on him and see what the deal is, what tricks he's got on him. But I was sure of myself, I was confident I wasn't wrong. I was leaving there and the Russian said, Marion, let's go there. She says, let's see, you made me curious. Let's go and see if it's the letter B or the letter C. I say, come on, let's go. Well, we left there from the Hestary and he took this old man's trampoline that he had over there and took the papers from there. He left with his Paston. Santa says, see you tomorrow. In my mind, I'll definitely never see you again. I'll never see you again for being a bandit in my mind. Russian, he says, let's see, Marion. I'm really curious. Let's see what letter is there. We get there, this street, like he said, look at the floor like he said. Now I say, what letter is on the door? The Russian says, yes, you were right, it's the letter B, the letter B. I couldn't be wrong. Oh, my goodness, says the Russian, we were in for a treat. I've never had anything like this happen to me before. Marion, I've never had anything like this happen to me in my life. Can you believe he came in, showed us this apartment, all furnished up, and sold us that apartment C? Who knows what's inside? Who knows what's inside, who knows what that apartment is? You can see what a crook this old man is. I'll get on the phone and call the old man. Ring, ring. The Russian says she's not answering me anymore. I say, the old man is such a crook and such a thief, he'll answer me. He says he's not selling the apartment and see. With my hand on the phone, I call the old man. Santa Mariano, how's it going? Me, sure, he's just like me. Santa, he's not like you, but I sold the apartment anyway, ready, he says. I spoke to someone, the flat is sold, he says. Yeah, it's not like you. Me, I say, I'm here at the apartment, I mean now I've left the apartment and above the door is the letter B. Mariano, no, it's not like you, he says. So, on the face, BA. I saw B there, and on his face he was telling me that it's not like me. Marian, that was the most perverse trick, the most beautiful trick anyone could give me, and I didn't get it. Be careful if you want to buy apartments. What number the house is, what street the house is on, be careful on the paperwork or you'll get burned. Old man, but you can get burned.